Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Get that bell notification on too so you don't miss out on a video. Welcome back to the channel where last time we were here, which was a little while ago, we were building up some transit-oriented development out in Walsenburg. We also built up this town of Ordway and we built a dog park. So we're going to be building out in that direction last time, but before we get going on that, I just want to thank you all for watching my Skylines 6 episode. Always a blast to do that. Really liked it. I hope you liked the medium density build. I thought that was pretty thematic to kind of what I do with the channel. So be nice to kind of bring into the series, and then also bring in the first tram line into the city. All good. Now, before we dive into today's episode as well, I want to show you some revisions that I made in some areas that we did, stemming from some comments last week or 2 weeks ago. Holy cow. Feels like it's been a long time since I've been back in the city. So let's hop out and take a look. So here we are back on the southern side of the city. And we got Walsenburg, New Walsenburg, Old Walsenburg. We got Ordway. We got our Parklow interchange. And let's start out here in the Parklow. So I made a few changes. I just, instead of having these off-ramps as two separate off-ramps, I combined them into one. We also did a few tweaks as well, just to try and smooth some things out. And then on top of that, I actually also managed to fix the issue where cars weren't traveling down this road. And in case you're curious about what was the issue, this 4-lane road doesn't connect out of bounds. So I had to connect a 1-lane road. I guess it's a vanilla road, the national road, into here. So then we have this one section here, and then it goes back into the 4-lane where the cars can bypass the trucks, and then we get into the lane or the highway going all the way across the map back into the Parklow, and then same thing all the way over here. So that's the first change. The second change that I'm going to talk about today is in Ordway. So there are some tweaks to the dog park, including adding in some of the dog park kind of props as well. And I thought that was really neat. There was also a suggestion to just add a bunch more parking because people will drive here to hang out with their dogs, and just move the actual dog park over a little bit. And then there was a suggestion to change up this road, so I did. It was a little bit confusing, and this is kind of how it lines up now. So we have a slip lane off to the right rather than it being a left turn, and it flows very, very nicely. The next suggestion was also just to name every street in Ordway after a dog type. So we got Shepherd Street, we got Landseer Street, we got Newfoundland Street, we got Bulldog Street, we got Labrador Crescent. This is Kevin Drive into here. I got Doberman Street, Greenland Street, and of course Ordway Street, who the town is named after, and must have been quite the dog lover. Oh, and then this one is named Husky Avenue because it's wider. That's kind of funny. And this is where we're going to be working today. But before we do that, we have one more thing to show you. So this is what we did last Friday's episode. And I have one change that I'm going to make on camera because it's going to require some destruction. And that is to change this from being a pathway into being a road, because there's not enough routes from this part of town into this side of town. We're kind of congesting it all through this main road here, so I figured this would be a good place to start. So unfortunately, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be destroying the park's main gate. So instead of destroying it, I'm just going to move it down to here, but we'll need to temporarily make a few quick changes here. So here we go. We'll just do that. Actually, you know what? Let's just delete both these segments. Oh, come on. There we go, and then we'll grab it without move it, because that would be helpful. Make sure that we're in the park zone, which apparently we weren't. Just barely. And here we go. Not in park area, come on. This is the park area. What did I mess up? Yeah, okay, there we go. Hopefully this works now. Aha, there we go. So this way we'll be able to keep this as being a park, and we get that road in as well. So we'll just do this, And then I'll delete this road here, and we'll delete that, and we'll delete that connection. We'll leave these gazebos for now. And then what I'll do here is I'll just literally connect these up with Anarchy. There we go. And these assets instead can just be attached to the road, and that's totally okay with me. There we go. We'll bring this one forward. And connect that up one more time. We'll have to also steal that tree type again so that we have some nice symmetry throughout the entire build. There we go. So hopefully that improves things a little bit. And I think it will. I think a lot of people will use this connection with cars and whatnot. We could even improve the bus lane through here, but I'll leave that for when we come back to Walsenburg another day. So here we go, back to Ordway. What is the plan for today's build? Well, we are going to build up a modern extension on Ordway, or maybe a more suburban structure of Ordway. And then I'll also look at some road networks throughout this region because, you know, we are starting to jam up a little bit, so we're going to need to improve this road. I don't necessarily feel like we need to improve the whole thing, but definitely in the section that connects up into here. And then this is also starting to see some much denser traffic than I was expecting, mainly because this road connects up with the outer world. So a lot of cars are turning here. So why don't we start out this way? We'll start off with the road connections since we were just talking about it. And let's start off with some really simple changes. And that is to be, just to do this, and it's going to be to add just pretty much a slip lane on each end here. Now there was an extra node in there, it's messing me up a little bit. So we'll remove that, and what this is going to do is it's just going to, oh, apparently it's going to make all the trucks stuck. So we'll just delete that one, and hopefully they unfreeze themselves. No, is it this one that's stuck? How about this guy? All right, well, it looks like a lot of things are stuck, so we'll just go into TMPE really quickly, and we'll go to maintenance, and we'll say reset stuck sims and vehicles, and hopefully that does it. Looks like a lot of cars are confused. There's just one node, guys. Holy cow. So we had lots of confusion going on. So we could also make this a light as well. That would be okay. We could make it a roundabout. I'm not committing to a roundabout at this point yet because a lot of the traffic is turning left. We might need to make this into, you know, a better solution than just the roundabout. But, you know, a roundabout could work. And seeing as there's lots of traffic turning right here from Ordway, I think we'll do that actually. So, you know, call a little bit of a mulligan on that one. Let's get a roundabout in here. So we'll go to the roundabout builder. And pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look for that 3-lane road. No parking. And it doesn't need to be that big, so let's shrink it down to about that size. That's fantastic. I don't mind having the 2 lanes going in, actually. It's a bit realistic when you see modern roundabouts in this part of the world, just to have these extra lanes here. And usually what kind of it is stick to the right and you're going straight, stick to the left and you're going left. So we'll do that. And here we go, set up the roundabout properly. And hopefully that kind of solves a lot of the problems here that we're having here with the traffic. And I know a lot of the traffic is going to be bypassing this turn. So we'll see how it kind of turns out. One thing I like doing with my roundabouts is hopping into node controller and then just choosing a offset. So we'll go 15. And we'll make it 15 for all of them. There we go. That's pretty smooth. And then if we're going even a step further, we'll remove crosswalks on the roundabout itself so that it looks a little bit more like a highway. And there we go. Hopefully that all works out. And of course, there's way more detailing we could do, but this is just a temporary traffic solution coming into here where I think we'll need to get one of these roads here. So we'll grab this. We're going to upgrade this, but I'm going to turn off collision. Click it in, turn collision back on right away, and then grab it with move it. Just shake it a little bit to get rid of those trees. And we're also going to flip this. Oh, I'm gonna need to turn collision back off again. There we go. You know, after taking a week off, I always feel like it's just gonna be like riding a bike, but it often isn't. Oh, collision is still on. I often get confused about where things are again. Okay, so there we go. We have all our fences here, which I will, I promise you, I will do off camera because it's just going to take a little bit too much time for today's episode, just to get them all back in straight in order and whatnot. So let's do this, and let's do the same thing here. Oh, just got rid of that one by accident. All good. Back it up a bit further. Yeah, so in this case, usually this arrow would be right and straight, and then this one would be straight and left. Or in this case, it would probably just be left because this here isn't a 4-lane road, which I suppose that we probably could upgrade it into a 4-lane road here. But I think we'll just leave it for now. So here we go. Looks like it's flowing a lot better than it was, and hopefully it stays that way. All right, so what's going to happen with the town of Ordway? Well, we're going to see a modern expansion off of this street here. This is kind of the old town that's since been gentrified and built up. Then we're going to have a bit more of a planned suburb. But we also have this mountain here, which I think is just too perfect to not be a hiking trail. This was part of the theme of this series, is there's going to be tons of parks. We have green couple dome trails. We have the Fort Prairie Historical Center. We have Era River Point. We have 2 Foot Island, which is going to be a park. We got Sunset Hill. So why don't we have the Ordway Cut be a park as well? So I think the first things first, when we're kind of looking at this modern expansion, and this is going to come into play for our future road network expansion as well, which we were just discussing, because we need to plan out the road network itself in order for us to find where the road network for the suburbs, so that we know where we're going to have the road network for the region. So there we go. I just removed the trees from here because that's going to be really helpful in seeing where we're going to be building. And then we'll open up the topography. So this is where I want to build the majority of it all. And this is probably going to be where we're going to have our school, for example. Now, I believe Ordway has some policies, which is... Oh, we don't have any school policies. So Ordway doesn't have a high school, but Walsenburg does. And I think Walsenburg's high school is getting pretty full. So I suggest we run a school bus to there, or we wait until we see how we build up this whole area. Maybe we could put the high school somewhere out over here or something like that, or on this side where we have much more flat land, which would be like a more modern expansion onto the town. And I think that's probably going to be a better theme. We have like a more gridded suburb over here or something, and then we have this as maybe like a 50s suburban expansion, and I like that. Okay, so now seeing the topography there, we can kind of plan things out. I want a lot of this to come off of the main road here, so Husky Avenue. So we'll do that, open the topography up, and we'll see this. So we're gonna have it pretty much curve out right away. So we could probably put it on a bit of an angle here. So why don't we go straight to about there? That's probably good. And this is gonna be the primary connection point for this town into the rest of Ordway. I don't want to connect up here because I don't want this to become more trafficked. So this is going to be the primary connection point on this side, but let's look at the rest of the connection points along this provincial or main street, provincial highway. And I think this one's going to be another possible connection point because I don't want us to connect up into this node at all. So we'll connect up here, and I think we can probably stick with an asymmetrical road. We'll connect it up like that. Yeah, there we go. So we are on the hill. It's going to be something that we're going to need to look out for. Now let's just pull it back a little bit farther. All right, so I don't suspect this is going to get too busy, but we'll give it a dedicated left-hand turn. Same with this one here. Actually, yeah, I think we'll be fine for now. And then we'll do a bit of smoothing out of the terrain here. Because I would actually think that they would probably level out this area here if they were trying to connect these two roads up. So let's grab this, set it to this height. Yeah, that's good. And then we'll grab this one, this is just slightly off. There we go. Smooth this all out. And then we'll level out everything in here. Because, you know, they're building a suburb. They would totally do some leveling to make everything proper and good. We're not going to do it too much because we're going to try and at least keep some of the topography in action here. But, you know, whenever they build housing developments, they often smooth out the land. Majority of the time they do. At least in the suburbs that I've been seeing get built. So we'll do this, just kind of cutting out the land a little bit, backing it up a little bit. We're not taking out the hill at all, really. We're just kind of pushing the topography out a little bit. This hill is going to come into play really soon because that grade is actually not too bad. All right, so now we have this. Let us connect it up with just some basic roads. I think this is going to be probably the majority of what we're going to be using this for. So we're just going to connect these two up, just like that. And then we're going to go from this side here at the same angle as this road. Just going to bring it out to, let's go with the freeform now. And we'll slowly kind of curve up this hill like that. And I'm looking to get into here, but that might be a little too steep on this side. So maybe this can be a bit more of a cul-de-sac area. We have some nice housing that kind of overlooks the dog park. Maybe we can get a nice secret path connection up into here. Yeah, that works out great. And then we'll just get one path, one road straight down from here like that, where we can have a walking path connection there. All right. Yeah, that looks good. And then now from here, we have a bit of a cliff face. We need to connect up this hill back into this plateau because that's going to be pretty important. So let's get that topography back, please. There we go. So I think this is probably our best bet to get up here. We could try and remove this part right here and try to get into a bit more of that leveling. And I think that's probably going to be a good idea here. So let's try and just grab this one. Ooh, that was a bit more than I was anticipating it being, to be honest. So, whoops. But, you know, too late now. And I'll just try and level this out because this is going to be the landing for the park entrance. And then this will also allow us to kind of slope things a little bit as well. So we're going to use my favorite road in the game, which is this one. And this one is going to just continue straight up. Like that. Is that straight? Yep. Onto the plateau. And why don't we actually go into a bit of a freeform at this point. And then we'll check out the topography here. Yeah, we can probably get it to about here. And let's see how sharp that is. Now, this is not a trucking route, so I don't suspect that we necessarily need to worry about the grade being too high. But, you know, 7.5 is pretty good for, you know, a car that's kind of going up here for a day hike or something like that. So I think that's probably good. All right. I'm gonna leave this cliff face. So let's get back to the topographical building here. So let's grab this one. And now I don't think we're gonna do the same thing that I normally do, for example, with these parks. That's to try to follow the topography line here. Because this one, I'm going to try and connect right up through the middle of this buildable land. We'll connect up right into here. So I think I might need to revise my plan about this road here. Something to think about. This road might also need to be upgraded at some point. So we'll continue straight, try to maintain a grid till about here. All right. And then we're going to curve out and over and up. Now let's just stick with this road for now. Kind of go up to about here. And then we'll come up to about there. Then we're going to stop for now because we have a couple options on what to do. And I want to talk about that in a bit because I want to get the zoning kind of going and, you know, get our first elementary school in this town. Yeah, we don't have an elementary school in this town at all. Okay, let's get that topography back. So here we go. This will be the first kind of turn off, and then this one go with the parking road with no parking. This one's gonna kind of curve off into this direction here. There we go, that looks a lot nicer. And then we can get some more houses here. Now, a trick for houses along a cliff's face here is to not make them too big on the side that's falling down the cliff, so you don't get too much of a massive kind of hitbox. Same thing right here. I feel like we could probably get a bit more block kind of zoning here. Turn off zoning on this street. I don't see us have zoning on that street. And then this way we can get some better zoning here. Yeah, that works. All right, so we'll let that kind of be for now. And then we'll get some zoning right through here as well. So again, I don't see zoning on this road here, but I do see zoning along here, nor do I see zoning on this road. Okay, gotta make sure the zoning is off on these ones as well. And then we'll get houses all along in here. Because I definitely see this being a pretty lucrative spot for someone to live. I'm sure there's some great views of the river. Alright, why don't we just do this whole block like that? I definitely see us snaking a sneaky path down here, so we'll leave that. Alrighty, get some nice big houses here, and then to about right there, that's probably good. I don't necessarily mind a house here, but I think we'll leave it. Probably the last one on this cliff face. And then this is all gonna be housing right through here. Alright, got a couple houses on this side. That's probably it. We could probably get away with one more. Awesome, okay, so that'll really go up with value too once we get the park in. Now let's get the kind of main grid out over here. So first of all, we're gonna need to turn zoning off on this street. And let's get kind of the main grid in, and then we'll look at an elementary school for the town. So here's the topography here. This is the deepest point, so I think this probably would make sense if we had this area be like a main street for the suburb. Get that out to about here, and then we'll probably do something. Yeah, I think this will work. It's a different shaped grid than I normally do. I think we're probably good right there. And then it means we need this one here. So let's see how this lines up. So let's turn off node snapping here. There we go. And having this street run parallel to this isn't that strange from what I gather as well. But I don't necessarily mind not having any housing right along here on this side. I think we could have some bigger lots. It also kind of plays in the theme of what's going on through here as well. So I think we're good there. And then we'll get another street right here. And then we'll continue this all the way through. Some nice little cul-de-sacs here, which we can run some paths through. Don't want to get too close to this highway though. And then this is a great spot for the elementary school as well. Still pretty central. There's enough space for a park and whatnot. Walkable as well. Especially if this is a light, it would definitely be walkable. But we don't know how I feel about that yet. But let's get that elementary school in here. Yeah, so as you see, we don't have any elementary schools in this area. So let's go with a more modern one. We'll put it right in this corner here so we have the parking along this road. And we can always add parking to it as well, which is nice. For example, we can do this. And this way we get some more parking. Why don't I bring this closer, and then I'll bring this one down as well. Yeah, there we go. And then really simple kind of trick here is to literally just grab a fence. Let's go with this fence here. Let's turn off our guidelines so we get some pretty accurate guidelines here. And then we'll just do this. And we'll run it right along the side here. And we'll connect it up like that. Very good. And we can always add, whoa, just a bit of trees along here. Okay, very good. And you know what? I think we need that fence right along. Oh, come on. Right along this as well. Yeah, very cool. Okay, so then right in here, now I definitely see us getting some more residential, but I don't mind a little touch of commercial through here either. Now I don't think this is in the Ordway zoning, so this would be a new zone all through here. Now, I don't necessarily mind having the zone continue, but I know we put a specific policy on here. Whoops. Which I'm worried about with the trucking route of this provincial highway. So let's just roughly get this one all the way up here. Very good, very good. Oh my gosh, water, of course. So we'll bring it right down Husky. Bring it right through here. And if you have a name of your dog, or you have a breed name of dog that you would like kind of sponsored in the town of Ordway, let me know in the comments, and I will name the roads in Ordway after dogs to continue the theme. All right, so hopefully that is a-okay. And now, so we got the elementary school in here. This is mainly supposed to be just a basic suburb, right? So we'll just literally fill it up with zoning. Now I know there's gonna be a lot of cars kind of cutting through here as well, so we might need to make it Old Town as well to prevent trucks, and the trucks stay on the highway. But we'll need to kind of watch out for that in the future. Okay, don't mind having these larger homes through here. Let's get rid of that one. Do the same thing on this side. And you know what? I don't think we're done necessarily with the roads over here. So I don't love that it's just kind of ends like a cul-de-sac like that. I would like it if maybe it kind of curved out a little bit more. Okay, very good. And you know what? We won't get all the connections through here. This one will just be a bit of a larger zone. This will also allow us to get a bit more housing in here. I think we could probably squeeze another house right there. That's all good. Right through here, I think we're good. All right, now this is just a big suburb with the whole purpose of getting people into Ordway, living out here, and then you know, working in the town, working in the ore industry out in Walsenburg as well. As it's a pretty important factor. Okay, so I think this is probably good. Pretty big suburb here. Massive extension, lots of walkability connections that we need to kind of create. We have an elementary school in here. We have some commercial little pockets right through here as well. I think we can get some more forest coverage through here now. So with that in mind now, we got this all zoning in. We got Ordway Hills. I think there's probably a park that we could add in here. If we look at the land value through here, it's probably not the best. No, but it's nice down in the downtown core here, so we need to improve the area here, and I probably want to connect up with the dog park, but I think we'll focus on that when we do the next suburban expansion of Ordway, because I definitely see us coming out this way. This was more of something to kind of zone up and level up as we're doing the next project. But I definitely see the responsibility of us getting a park through here. So why don't we add in just the small playground? I have the elementary school over here. I think maybe right in here is probably a good spot. This is a bit too close to the main road. You know what? I don't think this is the worst spot ever. There we go. Hopefully that ups the value. All right, now let's talk about this main connection here. So this is going to be a pretty important connection. This is the first exit from the Ordway cut into Ordway. It bypasses everything here, so any traffic in the town would probably take this exit rather than go through the roundabout, but any trucking routes are going to stay on the roundabout. So here's the options. We have a level crossing or a level connection, which is totally fine. We can go under the highway and kind of create it like a bit of like a diamond interchange almost. I think could work. If we look at the topography here, it's not the worst idea in the world. We can come right underneath right through here, and then we have kind of the on and off ramp. I think that would be fun to do, kind of change up the pace of things, but I think in that case we're going to need to change the grade of the road here and make it a bit more sturdy, if that makes any sense, like rather than it just being a country road. It would need to be upgraded into like a highway. And we have the option available to us to upgrade it to something like this. And I think we might need to now. This is seeing a lot of traffic. So why don't we actually do that? Let's pause the game here. Could bring it right up into here, and then it kind of slows down through the Ordway cut, and then it opens up right here. I think that's kind of a fun little option here as well. Looks like we have some node issues. We're going to have to chase this node issue all the way down. Yeah, looks like it. All right, so why don't we leave that in play then? And then we grab this. Oh, wrong tool. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to curve it to about right here. Very cool, very cool. So let's grab this again so we know whether we have this piece here. And we are going to upgrade it to an elevated piece, just like that. All right, now we can grab this node that's underneath here. And we're just going to lower it down to about right there. Now this is not a trucking route. It doesn't need to be anything too crazy. So I think that's probably a good height. Now we just need to slope this then from here down to here. Very cool. And then I will also grab this one and we're going to lower it down to about there. That's pretty good. So do we make a connection here after all? We're seeing this kind of underpass. We could totally make a connection, but it's pretty steep. Ooh, well, you know, this is something to think about. How about that? I'll think about it, and because I really like the idea here. We could have an off-ramp kind of come off and down into here. And then we could have like a bit of like a park low almost. This isn't the fastest highway in the world, so I don't think that would be the worst thing ever. Could have that connection a bit more down here as well. Yeah, well, you know what? Why don't we try that? I think that'd be cool, but how about we finish this road first? So the whole purpose of planning out this road was for this connection, or planning out this suburb was for this connection, because I am looking to get a couple roads up in these mountains here. So first of all, let's put on the topography again. I think we're going to need to get up to an appropriate height sooner rather than later, because this is... Oh, I kind of want this at terrain height here. There we go. So if we were to get that to terrain height, that is so steep. So I think we need to change plans here. I think that's probably a bit better of a connection. And then we're gonna have one road come all the way through here, go up this hill and up through the mountains. But I'm not gonna go all the way through the mountains, I'm just gonna get it into this green area here. So we're gonna kind of follow this plateau that we're on. Oh. Right through about here. And then we're gonna kind of go up this hill here. Whoops. Like this, just ever so slightly each time, cutting right across the side of this hill, which, you know, is not out of the ordinary for provinces to do if it's, you know, a really important connection here. And this one is, because it's going to lead probably out of bounds, out into the wider world, out into the mountains, where we're going to have other things occur in the future. And I think we'll leave it right here for future development. And then this one is probably the most important of them all, is getting a connection right off of here up this way. So this road right up into here is going to be an extremely important connection. But what is that grade? That grade is going to be significantly important, because if we slope this down 6%, that is pretty steep. Now, I suspect trucks can do that, but that might get a little tricky in the winter, and that would be something really interesting to discuss when we utilize that road. So if we go back down into here and slope this 3%, that's actually not too bad. Quite the cliff here, though. Alrighty, so let's grab this road then. And this one is I'm just going to extend it temporarily out here so it doesn't look too strange. And what is the purpose of these two roads? Well, so we're going to come off the highway here out of Ordway. This turn here is going to go all the way out through here, follow along this cliff face, or kind of plateau beneath the cliff, and it's going to connect up into Hanover Heights. It's going to be a bypass of Baldwin downtown, this main roundabout here. It's gonna be really important. And then this one is probably gonna have a connection up into here or something like that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll force all the cars to go through Ordway, but I suspect we'll get a connection up into here at some point. And these two roads are gonna merge and come up this way and up into the mountains, where we can access this area back in here. I think this is the only way that truly makes sense, especially if we look at the topography here. Because here's the road. We can sneak it up this way, and then we're kind of at that height, and we can get some really cool hiking trails right up through here. We can get some interesting things. We have a nice plateau down in here. I don't think we're going to build right up against the border here, but there's some interesting options that we can do, and we might even be able to connect out of bounds over here. Maybe we'll connect up with a road over this way at some point as well. So lots of options out over there. It's just kind of giving us that option. in the future. And why don't we actually plan that road connection right now, since we're kind of doing this anyways. Okay, we'll just grab this one. Looking at the topography here, you can probably sneak it up this way. Could try to bring it out all the way out through here and climb up this hill and connect it up into this one. This seems like an interesting place right here to connect up. Now I wonder how many cars are actually going to use this. So if it gets too busy, then we'll need to change it up. But I think this is a nice connection, especially if we look at it from this height now. We can kind of see how the roadways are playing out, where future towns along this kind of estuary are going to develop. And I think this overall was a good addition. But now we're looking at this. This is kind of the main feature here. This is what we need to do. So I'm going to kind of speed this part up, and we are going to get some fun connections. I love how this turned out. Actually, that's a great addition here. And we're going to kind of turn this into a avenue interchange, and we'll see kind of what I come up with. All right, and there we go. So I think that was a pretty cool little interchange here. It looks pretty interesting from the surface here. So I think the one big kind of debate I was having in my head is where I was going to connect this arm of it, this arm of things. And I settled on this one because I feel like eventually this road is going to become pretty important, and we might need to turn this into a roundabout at some point, in which case having a connection here and then a roundabout just didn't make sense. So bit of a longer drive, but you know, I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary. One thing that's going to be really important for this section here is looking at the, oh, not the parking. Looking at the speeds here. So I know we say it's at 100, but I'm going to slow this section down to 80 to see if that kind of helps limit cars through here. And then around these curves here, I think I'll go to 60. And looks like it did it for them all. Uh-oh. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up too much by misclicking or something. But yeah, then we go down to 40 through here. So hopefully all the traffic that's coming off here right now is just due to some kind of, you know, AI kind of matter here. And it's not actually them. Oh, maybe that was the reason. And it's not actually them kind of actually following this path. So hopefully that is a-okay, because I think it looks pretty good. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I think it looks like a pretty realistic avenue interchange through here, because, you know, this isn't exactly the most major of highways ever, but I think Ordway's looking pretty nice now. I was debating whether or not we're going to continue the suburbs up on this hill, but maybe we can have an access point for the trails over on this side. Maybe we can kind of sneak a path or a road right up here. We'll have an access point for this trail alongside this kind of main entrance over on this side. Yeah, so let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I think it turned out pretty nicely, and I will talk to you next time. There we go. Peace out.